all the tubes of you. We are there.
You and me on the You and Me tube.
You and me on the you and me tube. I love it. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
could just hop right in
Mm-hmm.
and do a little bit. We could do our intro, and then we could actually probably
Yeah.
explain this a little bit because we might have a whole new slew of listeners.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
here we go. Hi, I'm Maggie,
And I'm Amanda,
and we're sisters in law.
and we're watching the beloved political procedural The West Wing. It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late. Thanks so much for tuning in. These sisters in law have got a show that tell you from the law. Started with sex and then started streaming. If you love TV, check out what's streaming.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good. That's the official remix.
That is the. We always need a remix.
I don't think
'cause
we need to explain. Do
I
we need
think
to explain after that?
we're going to explain it so quickly. In 2023, we started watching, binging, and recapping the television show Suits, the law procedural, beloved law procedural, full of lawyers. If you know, you know. And I had seen it twice, and Maggie hadn't. Hence the show so nice. I've watched it twice, and a show so late. I'm watching so great. I'm watching it late. Then Maggie, tell him what happened after Suits was over.
We thought, you know what? We should watch a show from the last 5 months instead of the last 5 years, last decade. And so we started watching a whole bunch of what's streaming, like everything,
Like
everything that was hot. We were watching
a show a week,
series
like
a
an
week.
entire
Yeah,
season a week, like
binging it,
binging
binging
it.
hard,
Yeah, we were hard bingers.
which is fun. Hard bingers. But you know what doesn't settle the tummy so well is binging.
It's not good for you.
And right now, what I needed was something that I could really sit with and digest. And, like a show with something like 26 episodes in a season.
Yeah,
A
or
show
just
that came
yeah.
out that I've never seen that everyone loves. So we are now doing The West Wing, which is a long time coming. In fact, many people have asked us to do The West Wing, and we were like, no, we're taking a break. We're doing these real hard bender binges. But now
We're
we're
here for the
back.
people.
We're
'Cause
back to
that's
procedurals.
that's what a good president does. They serve the people, and just like President Bartlett, we want to serve our people and be there for them and honor, their requests. You're our constituents, one would say. And
We
I
the
got
people.
we the people. This is an effort that's about all of you. And I got to say, when you pitched this idea, I can't tell you how excited I was. I mean, your brother's so excited that he's even commented on the podcast, which is like a huge deal. So, William, we're so excited
No,
that
he
you'll be
might
tuning
even
in.
he might even be listening,
He
which
might
is
be
amazing.
listening. I know. Anyway, so we're sisters-in-law. I am Amanda, and my brother is Kyle, and that is Maggie's husband. And we met many years ago, obviously, because they've been together for, married for what? You going on 11 years now?
Yeah, 11 years in August.
11 years in August, yeah. And Maggie and I talk most days. So I've talked to her a lot more probably than I talk to my brother.
It's true. I actually talk to you more than I talk to your brother too.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
I see him
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, you do.
Just kidding.
Well,
That's a little sister-in-law joke.
so
A little family humor.
We're going to do some family humor. This is a spoilers podcast. And if you haven't seen The West Wing, well, you've had plenty of opportunities, as one might say. You still can watch it. So I'm watching it on Netflix. Where are you watching it, Maggie?
HBO Max.
HBO Max. Okay. So please join in if you haven't seen The West Wing. We're going to do 4 episodes, we think, per podcast episode. We could maneuver that just a little bit, but likely we will do 4. At the end of each episode, Maggie is going to be doing something pretty incredible where she predicts what's going to happen. And I got to tell you, this girl is really good at predictions and is basically the mayor of Prediction Town. I don't know
Oh
how
my
she does
gosh,
it.
you are too kind. You are too kind.
You're too smart.
It's hard to make predictions, and it's hard because the show has been out a long time, but I do have to say I know very little about this show other than I do know someone will die. And maybe I'll be making some predictions about who that person is.
Okay. All right. Well, we also do something every week besides just Maggie making her brilliant predictions, and we take turns presenting a brief because while this is technically a political procedural and not a law procedural like Suits, a lot of these people on the show are in fact lawyers. And it's only fitting for us to do some kind of brief, wouldn't you say, Maggie?
Yeah, and I think even in creating laws and being in governance, I think you get a brief. Like your intern still briefs you.
Yeah. To be fair, I'd like just a daily brief for my life, every day when I get up.
I think you can get like an Alexa assistant who does
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, I
But it's
think
not the
so.
same.
Not the
These
same.
are human written and human observation briefs
Yes.
that we
So
provide. Sometimes written, sometimes improv.
always a brief, though. Always a brief.
Always brief.
Always brief. Shall we?
You shall.
Okay. The first 4 episodes of The West Wing introduce us to all of the senior staff that is still finding its footing 9 months in to the Bartlett administration. With a presidency that feels like it's a little bit stuck in neutral and there's no more honeymoon phase going on. Now, across these first 4 episodes, we meet almost every major player. And I say almost because there are quite a few more major players coming our way. And Bartlett faces his first real military crisis after a U.S. plane is shot down by Syria. We also meet Charlie Young, who is hired as the president's body man. And we watch the team scramble to try and basically win back 5 votes on a gun control bill. Now, underneath all the politics, we see Aaron Sorkin, who is the writer and creator, planting a bunch of different seeds that will define the entire season. Things like Leo's marriage is cracking, his alcoholism. We also have some other different relationships that we might see a little bit later on. And yeah, that's what I got. That's my brief.
Fantastic.
I realized I was
Leave
supposed to
it
go,
hanging just like the first four.
I was supposed to start going down into Prediction Town a little bit more, and I didn't want to do that. So, yeah, I think the main thing that we have learned, and you probably have learned early on into watching this, is that 27 years later, we're still dealing with the same shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many times they're like talking about stuff, and I'm like,
Oh, cool.
This
Saw that in the
feels
news
like-
yesterday.
yeah. Yeah. Or like, wow, they could get that done, but we can't. Or,
Yeah.
what's going on? I also was thinking there's this one scene where, they're trying to get these 5 lost votes for gun control. And Josh Lyman what is Josh Lyman's role, first of all?
He's
What's his
Deputy Director of Communications. So Toby is the
Okay.
Communications Director, and then Josh Lyman is Deputy Communications Director.
He's underneath Toby. Or is he above Toby?
No, my bad. Let me start this over, and I'm going to edit this so I
Yep.
sound smart. Toby is
Okay.
Communications Director. Sam Seaborn is Deputy Communications
Deputy.
Director. Leo McGarry is Chief of Staff. Josh Lyman, Deputy Chief of Staff.
Deputy Chief of Staff. Okay.
CJ Craig,
Yes.
Press Secretary.
Right.
Charlie Young,
She's great.
Aide to the President. Miss
Got it.
Lanahan,
Got it.
running the whole show.
Miss Lanahan, the Donna,
No,
the Donna Wana.
Well, we've got a Donna. We have Donna Moss.
I know there's actually a Donna secretary, which is
There
so
is.
Suits.
Yeah, there's a Donna secretary, and we'll see a little bit more of her. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Oh no, I know we will. I know we'll see more of all the secretaries because they're running the show.
They're running the show. Yeah.
Running the show.
They're running
And
the
what's
show.
the name of the like short hair girl who drives really fast and she talks kind of like this, like she's got like a lot to say in her mouth and she's trying to get it out,
Mandy Hampton.
and Mandy Hampton. So there is Mandy.
There's a Mandy. I know. There's our Mandy. And
There's Mandy
yeah,
Hampton.
Mandy Hampton, played by Maura Kelly. So, and fun fact,
Okay.
she claims that she left her high paying job where she was making $900,000 a year. And I ran the math on that. That's equal to $1.7 million a year. So she left something like, if somebody left a job making $1.7 million a year to go work in government, then they gotta love it. They gotta love it.
She loves it. She loves it.
She loves it. So, Maggie, do you want to hit this like episode by episode, or do you want to have just some overarching questions here? Because I've got both.
Okay. Well, as a first time watcher, long time fan of people who love this show, but first
Sure.
time for me watching, I do have a couple of things that maybe I could say, and then we can like just kind of things that these first 4 episodes gave
Brought
me
to-
that
yeah.
I felt uneasy about.
Okay.
And then if this might lead to some of the more specific points and fun facts that you know as a multi-season, multi-watcher.
Yeah,
Multi-watcher?
Multi-watcher. I'm a multi-watcher.
Binger.
I'm a multi-watcher.
Okay, I'm a firstie. Firstie versus multi. Okay, so in the first episode, we see the deputy communications, which his name is
Sam Seaborn,
Sam Seaborn. Okay, and he's
Rob
played
Lowe.
by
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe, who is, of course, from Parks and Rec, and he's
Yes.
the same character. I think that might be who he is, just kind of like a guy who's like a little pompous.
Little pompous, but also
think he's
has
pompous?
he's pompous, but he's kind of earned the right because he's pretty smart.
He's
And-
really smart.
Side note, if you don't follow Rob Lowe on Instagram, you should, because his son trolls him. Every time that Rob Lowe posts something, his son will troll him. And he and his son have a great relationship, but his son trolls him. And that's why people follow Rob Lowe, to see how his son is going to troll him every time he posts something. So it's
Incredible.
incredible. And my hope for you and Kyle, my brother, your husband, is that 1 or 3 of your children troll you on social media when they do have an account, because that will bring me so much joy to watch. And I'm also fine if they troll
They
me
troll
too.
us. Dude, they troll us so hard in real life. It's
Yes.
gonna be hard on the internet. They're gonna
Honestly,
drag us for filth.
I'll get my feelings hurt if I'm not trolled, to be fair. You know?
Okay. All right. Well, you might get them hurt when you are trolled. They're
That's
pretty.
true.
They can
Yeah.
be. They can be pretty observant in
Yes.
things that you're like, I
Okay.
didn't need you to observe that.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
I don't
So
need that
anyways,
mirror, actually. Okay.
If you
Love
take
it.
anything from
So
this
we
podcast, go
see-
follow Rob Lowe, you know?
Okay, excellent. Rob Lowe, Sam Seaborn.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode, he goes out with a woman and he lays with her in a bed and then accidentally gets her pager confused because
Mm-hmm.
obviously when you're laying in a bed, pagers get mixed up,
As they do.
and finds out that she's a call girl, right?
But
which
he
is a
never
nice
called her.
word
He
for,
never
like,
called her for
He
the
never
call
called
girl,
her.
the call girlness of it all. Yeah.
Right. I think this is gonna be a problem.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a problem.
Okay.
That's not and it comes up in like episode 3, like the press gets wind of this, that he's been talking with a call girl, and he's like, no, I'm just her friend. It's just like, I just feel like it's a little like there's other fish in the sea, Sam. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And it's not just
feel
the
like-
press that gets a hold of it. It's Danny Kincannon. So, which is
Danny
important to know.
Kincannon.
Yeah, it's important to know. And his last name, Kincannon? Danny Cannon, Danny.
That's a
Kincannon.
good last name.
Yeah.
Danny Kincannon.
Is that right?
Loaded into the cannon because he's going to shoot it out for the whole world to digest. That Danny? Danny the Cannon?
Let's see here. Here's where I know where it is. Yeah, Danny Kincannon.
He can cannon that. He's going to launch that story out across DC and beyond.
Okay.
This is not good. Not good for anybody to have your deputy communications director involved in a sex scandal in the early 2000s.
You know, back then that was a big deal.
It was
So
a big deal back
we talked
then.
about some of the things that are very similar that we're dealing with, 27 years later. That's actually not a big deal. In fact, I would argue it's probably something that's desirable on resumes for a lot of politicians these days. Can I say that?
Yeah, don't
Should I comment?
apologize for it. Don't apologize for it and just full steam ahead.
Yeah, people
This
are
was
running
really
on
a
that
blue.
ticket, you know?
Yeah, they're running on it. They're like, yeah, I was her friend.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't
Yeah.
need to dig into it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. This seems like it would be a problem though in the early 2000s. So I'm using this historical fiction lens,
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a problem.
Okay.
I also think it's hilarious that the president is an economist.
Why do you think that's hilarious?
Has that ever happened?
That's
Has
a good
that ever
question.
happened?
That's a good question.
We've had like
He's-
peanut farmer.
Yeah, we've had a peanut farmer. We've had an actor. We've had a lot.
Had governors,
Governors, tons of governors.
senators,
Senators.
lawyers, economist.
Yeah, he's also just a real nerd.
He's such a nerd.
Yeah,
He's such a nerd from New Hampshire.
yeah.
Has there been a president from New Hampshire?
President Bartlett.
President Bartlett.
President
Anyways,
Bartlett.
the only president that I care about is the economist president from New Hampshire.
Sure.
Wouldn't it be
Same.
great to have an economist
Wouldn't it?
in it was just like, yeah, no, I'm looking at the numbers and I'm not panicked because I know this. Economists are like the people that I feel like have the best grasp on reality,
Sure.
you know?
They have to, because when everybody is panicking, they're the ones who are like, we don't need to panic right now. And then when everybody's
Yeah.
not panicking, economists are like, should panic a little bit.
They like to just drop, you know what they are? They're kind of like chaos agents, though, right? They're like, but they like to drop a little thing like, oh, here's a percentage of something interest. I don't know. I'm not an economist, but they're like, here's a little percentage. And then they walk away and everyone scrambles and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I
what's
just said
the
it was
big
1%, yeah.
deal? It's just, this just happens. Let's look at the big scale. And then everyone's like, okay, everything's good. Everything's good. And then they're like, ooh, inflation number, beep, beep, beep. And then you're like, but they just walk away. They're chill as heck.
That's
They're
the best
fine.
act out I've ever heard and seen of an economist.
No one thinks about economists
They
until they're
don't.
your president. And then you're like, wow.
Wow, we have an economist.
Yes. I love that. I love it. I love it.
You love it? Okay.
I do.
He
Deposition
also,
for you.
yeah, ask me.
Okay. None of the previous president jobs we've listed or know of are on the table. What position do you want a president to have, like in their past? Like they were once this figure and now they are the president.
I don't
Can't
know.
be an actor, can't be a peanut farmer, can't be an economist, can't be a lawyer.
I think it'd be really nice to have a science teacher in there.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of logic
be
there,
really
a lot of data and facts. They're going to look at things very analytically, and also a seventh grade science teacher, because like that's the
Yes.
hardest thing ever. So I would say if we could find a solid seventh grade science teacher,
Yeah.
maybe they coached JV basketball, something like that.
Yes.
That's fast moving. Basketball's so
Yes.
fast. And the game is really anybody's at any time. It could change. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the world.
And they're giving the inspirational speech to rally us as things are moving quickly because that's the time we live in.
And they're doing it
Man.
for seventh graders, but also the parents listening, so they can talk on like both levels, right?
Yep. And then they're also like, this is a covalent bond. And everyone's like, yeah, I'm going to know this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And they're lighting stuff on fire.
Yeah. They're
But in a
dissecting
controlled environment.
cows' eyes, like a cow
Yes.
eyeball. Like they know how to be precise, but also sometimes like gotta rip it apart, gotta get in there.
Hear me out.
I am.
Bill Nye, the president guy.
Honestly, I'm not mad about it.
Okay.
I'm not mad
Putting
about
it out there.
Let's put it out there. Let's put it out there. So we're going for my seventh grade science teacher. Absolutely not. But I think any other seventh grade science teacher. My seventh grade science teacher was a work of art, truly.
My seventh grade science teacher, actually, maybe not either.
Yeah.
Other science teachers, great.
Yeah.
Great ones.
I think just like
I had an
the
eighth grade science
persona,
teacher.
the persona of a seventh
Yeah.
grade science teacher.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. My eighth grade science teacher, Mr. Simbala, he taught like physics, and he was just like so chill. And like, you know, eighth graders can be little dickheads. And people would be like dickheads, and he'd be like, no, we're not going to do that. We're here to do physics. And then he would just start teaching physics, and everyone would be like, you're right, Mr. Simbala. Like, I don't know how he commanded the room like that, because he never raised his voice. No, we're here to do physics. And I was like, yeah, we are.
Maggie,
Mr. Simbala?
you were doing physics in the 8th grade?
Y-
No
I
wonder
mean,
you're
not,
so smart.
no, that's what you do. It's like the curriculum.
That's not the curriculum in Texas.
What did you do in eighth
Well, I
grade
don't know.
science?
Physics, where we just like throw in a bunch of tennis balls around and seeing if they dropped. Like, I mean, maybe we were making homemade yo-yos. I don't recall the least bit of physics happening in
It
the
was
8th grade.
probably physics, but called by another name, you know?
What is physics if not physics?
Yeah, like throwing tennis balls and yo-yos. That's
I didn't go to tennis ball
because
class.
that's potential energy, kinetic energy.
Yeah, I mean, you
know?
shouted out a covalent bond, you know? My
I think that's
gosh.
chemistry, though. I was in the American
science.
Chemical Society in
Okay,
high school,
okay,
so maybe I should be president.
You were also a teacher.
I was, but I taught eighth grade math, and not well, bitch. Not well.
Okay, let's
Okay, thank you.
like a good president, get right back on track, you know?
Yes, yes. I do have a couple other things. I'm sorry if this is too much, but I just have to process it with someone.
Let's process it.
Okay, good. Leo's wife leaving him,
Jenny. Yes.
and him because he's so caught up with work, and he missed their anniversary,
yes.
which is a big one. You know, he comes home and he's like, "Why are you still awake?" And she goes, basically like, "The fuck, dude, it's our anniversary." And then he sends a pet as like an apology,
Well,
but he's
plans
also
a dinner.
late for that.
He plans a dinner. And
Oh.
no, he gets home in time for it, and they're gonna be there. But it didn't matter.
She's gone.
She's leaving.
Was he home in time for it?
Yeah, he got home in
I
time.
feel like he was
that
still
day.
a little late. Oh, he got home, but just in time to watch her walk out the door and into the taxi.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
That's hard. That's hard. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
yeah.
I think this is going to be important.
Okay.
I think anytime a chief of staff's wife leaves him, I feel like, again, early 2000s, this could be big in the press. This could be talked about. Personal becomes professional, but also, of course, that's going to impact him. That's going to
Yeah.
impact his decisions. You can't just be all work, no play. That makes Leo possibly not a good boy.
Yes.
But I love him. I love Leo.
Yeah.
I think he's great.
Okay.
Got curmudgeon-y sounding voice. He gets so mad about the crossword puzzle because he knows it. Like, he's so smart. These are just a bunch of like nerds that I would love to hang out with.
Yes. Okay. Keep going. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions at the end, but I want to hear your other thoughts.
Okay, so far, love President Bartlett, that he's an economist. Love Leo, even though his personal life's fallen to shit.
Yeah.
I kind of don't really like Sam. I think he's kind of a dick.
You don't
I
like
think
Sam
he's
Seymour?
like real.
Okay.
I think he's like real high and mighty on like, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I'm not thinking long term. I'm just thinking about myself.
Okay.
And my ego.
Okay.
Then we have Toby. I think he's great. He's such an Eeyore.
Yeah. Richard Schiff. Yes.
Yeah. I also like Mandy, but the way she talks, I guess that's the actress, right? Because she's in
Yes.
other stuff.
Yes.
It's a little like 1940s for me or something. It's a lot of lip movements.
Yeah. She's in the wrong decade for sure.
Yeah, I like her though. I think to give up a almost $2 million a year job
To go into politics?
for public service.
Yeah. You gotta
She must be
wanna-
really smart too.
Yeah.
That's a gamble.
Okay. Who else do you
Okay.
like?
Okay. Obviously, I love CJ.
Yeah.
In the first time we see her, she's jogging and she's basically trying to defend her personal life. She's on a treadmill and then she gets a beeper buzz and she
Yes.
falls off the treadmill.
Yeah.
And if that is not relatable, endearing,
Yeah.
something I would do,
Mhm.
then I don't know what is.
Right. What about my
I like
my
her
boy?
a lot.
What about my boy Josh Lyman?
Josh Lyman's great. I
So
mean,
Josh
obviously,
Lyman is my Harvey Specter.
Bradley
on this show.
Whitford.
Yes.
I mean, he's everyone's Harvey Specter. But anything he's in, Bradley Whitford is the
Unbelievable.
Harvey Specter.
Yes.
Because he's kind of Travis Tannery. He's a little bit of a bad boy,
A little
right?
bit.
Josh Lyman dated Mandy.
Mhm.
He's got like a little history. He's got some swagger.
Mhm.
Okay, he is in The Handmaid's Tale, which I don't know
Yes.
if you watch, but I love
Yes.
it. I love dystopian. And he's a bad guy, right?
Mhm.
Like he's the designer of this dystopian future.
Mhm.
And even in that, I'm like,
Yeah.
he's great.
Do you remember
I love
him?
him.
He was also in The Diplomat with Allison Janney. Do you remember this?
He's her husband. Yeah, he's the first husband.
He's the first husband.
And he slices himself on the oyster.
And there's blood in the ice.
And he'll dum-dum.
Yeah.
I'm like, I still love him. I'd eat those oysters.
I know.
What is
This
it
is-
about him? He's just
We're
got the
putting
swag.
it out. We're putting it out in the first episode that we were recording of West Wing that we will have Bradley Whitford join us at some point in time.
This is a manifestation. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he
not a-
is
it's not an
so
if, but
good.
when. Yeah. And multiple times. If he just wants to jump in every week, we're happy to have him every week.
Whenever he wants to jump in,
Mhm.
just to be like, what? He's like, he's just up and he's like, dude, I just have to talk to someone about
The West
the
Wing.
Arby's order I just ate, or the West Wing, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, he's so good. And there's even like a poli sci. He's out to lunch in like one of the first couple episodes with Mandy, and they're
Mm-hmm.
talking, and like these poli sci majors who are in DC go up and ask him for an autograph, which I was
Mm-hmm.
like, this guy is just like, he's like one of the guys from Pod Save America, right?
Yes.
Like he just
Yeah.
just could have a whole brand after this presidency where people just follow him because
He
he's
would have
got
so many
swag
brand
and-
deals. So many brand deals. If he was an
So
influencer,
many.
he would have been like,
Yes.
yeah, supreme influencer for sure.
Supreme TikTok content.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking head like this. Let me explain what's going on. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Oh my
He's
gosh.
great.
He's great. All right. What are a couple other things that are really standing out to you?
Another thing is that Charlie goes in to interview for a job that's like a very simple job, right? Like he wants to
Messenger.
be
A bike messenger.
Right. He wants to ride his bike and deliver messages. He applies for that job. He has a bike. He has a little sister at home he's taking care of. And I'll be damned if he doesn't get a very complicated, high stress job of becoming the aide to the president,
Yes.
which is like also a nightmare. To me, this would be a nightmare. And he handles it with such grace and poise and just accepts the responsibility as like, yes, I serve at the pleasure of the president, kind of attitude.
Yeah.
I would hate this. I'd be like, I want to be a bike messenger. I don't want to be the person working with the president all the time. I don't want to do that.
I think in
The
the moment
stakes.
I think in the moment, Maggie, you would freeze and you would do this. I serve at the pleasure of the president.
I would.
And then you would have Homer Simpsoned it out. You'd have just gone back into the bushes like this.
I would, which I think is why I sweated. I started sweating because I was like, I get this. Like, he's going to end up in this job and he's going to be like, oh my God, what have I done? Because you can't say no to that job, but you don't want that job,
Yeah.
you know?
Here's what's interesting about that role. A couple of things. First is Dule Hill, who we know from Suits. And
course.
so he was in Suits starting in season 8, I believe. And then second, that he was added in early, but I mean we don't see him until season 3, and his whole story like comes like we know everything about him, and he is like interviewed We see his past, and then all of a sudden he is hired, all within episode 3, because NBC and Aaron Sorkin were getting pushback because it was an all-white cast. They said they didn't have any diversity in any of the main characters. And because they have Admiral Fitzwallace, but he is not a main character. It doesn't have a lot of
And he
airtime.
dies. No, that's the other admiral. That's the other guy
We're talking
dies.
about Morris. You're talking about Morris, who was the doctor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about Admiral
Yeah, yeah.
Fitzwallace from the Situation Room. So there wasn't anybody that was that had a main. There was a main player. That was a person of color, and so NBC and Aaron Sorkin were getting some flack from that. So they quickly wrote that role in. So he was not part of the original plan, but they brought him in like that quickly. Episode 3.
I'm glad they did.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a great ad.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. Interesting. Interesting that's why they had to. And they even make a note of it. They're like, this is probably like something that they were talking about in the writer's room too.
Yes.
But they're like,
So they
is
called
it
it out.
going to look bad? Is it going to look bad? And are the optics going to be bad to have this like young black man carrying the suitcase of the president? And I thought they handled that well, kind of now knowing this context of like, at least they're calling it out and making a point so that it can be a discussion.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Because when did this come out? 2003?
Oh no.
2002?
No, I thought it came out before. I thought it came out in 1999,
Oh, really?
2000.
2000 it came out?
It came out for sure before 9/11.
It did?
Let me
Are you
find out.
Googling it?
Yeah, I'm using the Lord's internet. So yeah, September 22nd, 1999.
Wow.
Knew it.
Totally different world. Totally different world. So
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was president?
Yeah. Clinton was president, and then they rolled
Interesting.
into a
Bush.
administration
George
for
W.
Yeah, it was W the rest of the show.
Wow. That's interesting because knowing that, because Bartlett's kind of folksy. He's obviously like very smart and economist, which is the opposite. Like George Bush was kind of like a governor of Texas and
Yes.
legacy. But he has like that folksy energy of like, I'm just going to talk off the cuff here and like make a dad joke.
Yeah.
And that's interesting that West Wing and Bartlett were modeled after, not after him.
Yeah. Well, they were doing what they wanted.
They were doing whatever the F they wanted.
They were doing whatever they wanted. You know, Aaron Sorkin wrote American President, and Michael Douglas was in that in like 1995. And they say that he had so much content for that film that it kind of spilled over, and that was sort of the precipice for The West Wing.
Oh, that's interesting.
In fact, the here's more. Yeah, episode 3, proportional response, where he's like where Bartlett's in the Situation Room, and they're talking about a proportional response to how the Syrian government had blew up that plane. That is like almost verbatim what was in American President. And Michael Douglas says the line, someday someone's going to have to explain to me the virtue of a proportional response. And so that is from the film, and then it makes its way back, and you know, he's just recycling it a little bit. So
Oh, I kind of love that.
yeah.
So if someone tuned in because interesting.
Yeah.
This is fun, a funny show, and it's a quick show.
It's a
and
quick
it's
show.
funnier, I think, than, I mean, obviously, like there's these moments where the theme song comes in and the music comes in and it's like somber, or we're reflecting, or we're
Yeah.
being inspired. But most of it, I would say, is like really quick, witty banter between these very intelligent people, crowded, busy walk and talks as they're
Yeah.
walking through the West Wing.
And they have a walk and talk moment in episode 4 where Josh and Sam are walking, and they're just following each other and talking. And then they're like, "Where are you going?" You're like, "Where are you going?" It's like, "I don't know. I was just following you. I was just following," like, which is also kind of, I don't know the saying. I'm gonna forget it, of course, because I'm under pressure with so many people listening right this second. But about, people will just like follow the masses. Like they'll follow a leader, and like they'll follow crowds and they'll follow people without really ever questioning it. And I felt like that was
Mm-hmm.
a interesting thing to like. They're like calling out what the walk and talk really is, but also calling out that sometimes you don't know where the hell you're going and you're just roaming around following somebody. You're like, I don't even know where I'm going. So,
I don't even know.
yeah. And they
I
didn't
don't
want
even
anybody to
know.
know. They're like, don't tell anybody this
Yeah.
happened. We should always know that we're walking with a purpose, but no. Also, what's great about this? I think they started the blue folders because they passed around a lot of blue folders in these
They
episodes. Not quite as many
do.
as we see in Suits, but I'm just wondering if maybe, Pearson Hardman took a note from this administration.
100%. I think seeing now the first four episodes of West Wing and having watched all of Suits with you in your tutelage, I 1,000% think that so much of it was taken from this. As far as like, we have this witty banter that goes really fast in between these really serious moments, and also most of our scenes are us walking because otherwise we'd just be sitting there and it would be so boring to watch. So
Yeah.
give me a folder, hand me a cup of coffee, and we're having this dialogue while we walk in stilettos.
And get some charismatic actors who can just talk lawyer speak, and
Yes.
people really won't know the difference and be like, I don't know if you can do that or not, but it sure does sound
I
hot.
don't know.
Sure does
It's
sound hot. Bring it.
hot.
Hot. It's getting hot in here.
So hand me the blue folders.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Okay,
it.
what other thoughts do you have? What other hot thoughts? Because I have a
Okay,
couple
okay,
little
okay.
little nuggets for you.
Um, those are my big ones from the first four. Those are
Okay.
my big ones from the first four.
Okay.
Please.
I'm going to hit you with just a couple of things. There's a tiny role. It is Mandy's partner. Her name is
Yes.
Daisy. And I don't know if you know, but she played Francie in Alias.
I see. I didn't watch Alias,
Well,
but a
it's
lot
on
of
our
your
list.
Alias friends.
It's on our list. Okay. We have a couple of others we've talked about before. I will somehow convince you to watch Alias. And so she played Francie on Alias. That is a big role. So I was delighted because I watched The West Wing way after I watched Alias. So just saying,
Just
she's
delighted.
delighted. A couple of other things. Let's see here. I did find a fact. The episode 4, Five Votes Down, was co-written by Lawrence O'Donnell Jr., who is now on MSNBC and and then a recent Senate Finance Committee staff director. So, and then also there was a pollster, Patrick Cadell. So that's why like the legislative whip math feels really real and sounds real because Sorkin was known for bringing in actual politicians and political advisors and people that were in administrations in the past or current, to help so that he wasn't just, writing and talking out of his ass like other politicians do.
Yeah. You know what's so interesting is I think like if you're in any job, it's so niche, right? And you
Right.
talk to your coworkers about things and it goes really fast and like you can make decisions and you know all the details about XYZ thing and a layman would not know or someone who's just not in that niche would not
Right.
know. But this is a job, like this is just someone's job. These are like people that go to your high school and then they're like, I really love student government. And you're like, why? Sucks. And then
Yeah.
they go on and they go to college and then they go and they get an internship in DC and then all of a sudden they're like a deputy
job-
chief of staff.
Yes. They're
And,
Jeff
and then all of a
Schleiman.
sudden you're like, oh my God, now this person, everyone loves them and they're really smart and who knew? But it's because
Right.
they're insider baseball the whole time. Like they like know all, it's like, oh,
No.
this is my life.
Yeah.
This is what I've chosen.
I think I've told you this, and I know I've told my friend Ellen this many times. There are so many times when I've been watching The West Wing where I have gone on to look to see how could I get involved in politics. I don't want to be a politician. I don't want to run
Right.
for office, but I would love to work behind the scenes. And this show will do it for me. Like the way that Suits makes some people want to become a lawyer, this show
All
makes
people
me
on
want to
this
get.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a couple of things here. At the very beginning, when Sam Seaborn, who you don't like, but I do, is Up the next morning, pagers a tumble, all rustled up in the bed with Lori. He gets the text or he gets the page that
Oh yeah.
POTUS has fallen off a bike. And she goes, who's POTUS? And he says, that's my boss. She goes, tell your boss he has a funny name. And she said, that's not his name, that's his title. And what is that? President of the United States. This is like one of the very first times when POTUS and FLOTUS and SCOTUS made it into the like zeitgeist of people using it. And I think it's interesting because you probably watch it now. And I mean, I watched this so late. I just watched it a few years ago. So I'm very late to the West Wing game, by the way. But when I heard it, I didn't think twice. But it became a really big deal because there's a debate of whether or not that's where it started, was on the West Wing.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting? Because we use it all the time.
Well,
POTUS, SCOTUS,
yeah,
FLOTUS,
but
all the time, right?
yeah, now we do. But that's interesting because I bet that was again like insider baseball, and that's what people who work in the White House actually would say, but no one outside of the White House would say it. But now
Yeah.
we're all like, look at us. We watch the West Wing. We know what goes on.
Yeah.
Politics.
I have a quick depo/quiz for you, Maggie.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm going to see how well you're watching the show. In fact, I've decided right this second, I'm going to introduce a quiz every time. And you can also quiz me too, okay?
Okay.
You
Okay.
can quiz
Okay.
me. What is the president's nickname? You know how they
Jed.
say, okay, that is a good, yes, that is correct. Let me be more clear. I am so sorry. So yes, you got that correct. Next question in the quiz. What is the name that the Secret Service uses for him?
Oh, not POTUS
It's not POTUS.
and not Jed. It's something I think, and it's not the eagle. Isn't it something kind of embarrassing because he like falls, or is it the eagle?
It's the Eagle.
It is the eagle. Okay, but then
The
it's
eagle.
like the eagle fall. So but it's like embarrassing because it's like he's clumsy. He rode a bike and he
Well,
crashed
there's
into
just
a
a time
tree.
when he's walking down through the West Wing, like walking outside of his office, and then like the Eagle is passed. Or
Oh,
the Eagle's on his
yeah,
way or
yeah.
whatever.
Okay, I got it right.
What is the president's full name?
Well, it's Jed is the abbreviation because the first name is, of course, the extended name for Jed, which a lot of people don't know, but it is Jedediah.
Jebediah.
Jebediah?
Jebediah. Jebediah.
Jebediah. Which is funny because when I was in middle school, right before, right after this came out, I thought Jebediah would be a great name for a son someday.
Did you really?
But I thought Jeb instead of Jed. I thought Jeb was a cool name.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
Is it Jebediah
Josiah.
or Jed? It is
It's Josiah.
Josiah.
I thought it was Jebediah.
No,
Josiah.
I knew it wasn't. When I said I knew it wasn't actually Jedediah because I would have remembered that. But I was like, it's something else. I didn't know Jed was short for Josiah though.
Should we cut this so we still sound smart, or what do you think?
No, because we can spin this.
We can spin it. We can spin this.
Because
Basically,
people
we are
listening who
two
know the
press
answer.
Secretaries. We are press secretaries.
Just like, like we want people to know, we want people to be listening. We're engaging them because they're like, it's not Jedediah and it's not Jebediah. And then they're getting mad and then they're realizing,
Josiah.
no, we do know the answer. It is Josiah. And that was just an engagement tactic,
Yeah.
which is actually smarter than
The
getting
hook.
it right.
Bait no hook. Yeah. Do you have any quizzes for me? Anything?
Let's see. Another depo for you.
Yeah.
Press secretary. Being the press secretary would be a hard job. How would you spin the president running into a tree? What would you say?
I actually wouldn't spin that one. I would let that be a human moment because I think because he's okay, safety first, is everybody okay? And let it be a human moment. Use it as an opportunity to make a little bit of a joke, not really at the president's expense, but just about how, we've all been doing everyday activities. My gosh, yesterday I woke up and tried to dry my hair and then couldn't get out of it or whatever. Like I would make a fun joke out of it and make him human and remind the American people that he is human and also that he rides a bike.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
I wouldn't spin it. I wouldn't be spinning.
You wouldn't? You wouldn't? You would just
No.
own it?
I would own it.
Own a
I would own
factual
it.
thing?
I would own it. What about you? Would you spin it?
You wouldn't? I don't know. Maybe I'd be like, you are a garbage reporter for even asking that. You know that tree is a liberal propaganda piece planted in the park just to try and make the president, who is the best bike rider in the world, Lance Armstrong said so. You are just making this up.
Are you modeling this after somebody else? Because
No, I just came up with that. Is
Okay.
that something that someone
No,
would say?
Just curious. Yeah, just
Is that
curious.
something?
I don't know. I don't know. I was weird. You do know this is a liberal administration. The Bartlett administration is.
Yes, I was aware.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so maybe you were doing something. I mean, I was picking up on a
No,
bit.
that's what I was
Just
just
picking up what you're throwing
Is it
down.
bad? I don't know.
Just picking up what you're throwing down.
I don't know. This is kind of like uncharted territory, you know? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been in the early 2000s that my approach might have been too brash.
Mm-hmm.
Your approach might have been better
That's
in the
fair.
early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know. We'll never know.
That's fair. What else you got for me?
I think that's it. I mean, I think that's it
At this-
before,
We take a ride.
unless you want to get a ticket. Yeah, on the
I
subway.
think real quick,
The Metro.
we're gonna have to go in a car, like with the Secret Service for this.
Oh, okay. We can't just hop on the Metro.
No, we can't do the Metro for this. For the duration of the West Wing, I've got a car, and we do have protection to get us to Prediction Town. So
Thank you so much. That's so.
yeah,
Such great
in a bind, we can have the helicopter come down and take us and hit us, on our pad and pick us up. So
Which I want to hear about helicopters. Offline.
okay, sure.
I want you to tell me what.
Sure,
about the
I'll talk to you about
helicopters.
helicopters.
How about the heli? Okay. Yes. Let's go.
Ready? Secret Service.
Oh, look at that. That's the monument.
All right, what do we got?
Harder to do a car
Yeah.
noise than a train. But I
We
like
can also-
that.
We
Okay.
can try taking a train. We can try. If we feel like we want to get out in the open next time, we can always do that.
Okay. Okay. Or a walk. A walk down
Yeah.
the boulevard.
Mhm.
Okay.
walk.
I think the prostitute I think is going to be a problem.
Okay.
I think that's going to blow up, and it's going to come to maybe Sam has to lose his job, but the president will stand by him.
Okay.
Okay, that's a prediction.
Okay.
I think Josh Lyman and Mandy,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to hook up again.
Okay.
You're going to have a little tasty tease, a little.
Tasty teas.
They're going to, at the pleasure of the president, but not the president, the pleasure of the president's deputy chief of staff, if you know what I mean, chief of staff.
Okay.
Is that a good one?
Yeah, have to.
I think that's I think, but I don't think it's going to be like a long-term relationship. I just think it's like something's going to happen, and it's going to be like a night where like, we just do that,
Okay.
I think that I know that someone dies, and I don't know who the person is, but I think I'm gonna say it might be Toby.
Okay.
Out of nowhere, he's just such a little Eeyore, and I think if he left, it would be very surprising, and a death would be very surprising.
Okay.
So I think that CJ, I don't really know enough about her yet. I like her vibe. I think we open with her talking about how she has a social life. Maybe she gets a social life in this season. Maybe we start to see glimmers of like personal life for her instead of just, being all at the president. I do think that I didn't mention this, but it is interesting that like we see President Bartlett kind of lose his shit before he goes on national television, and he's yelling, and he even yells at Charlie before he knows Charlie is his person. And maybe that's like something that's normal in like high stakes positions and things like that. But I was like, dude, chill out,
Yeah.
know?
Pump the brakes.
pump the brakes. And I feel like a temper could be a problem for someone who people think is an economist, folksy nerd from New Hampshire. I think you got to put a lid on it, especially when you're about to be on camera. That could be dangerous.
Yeah.
The early 2000s
In the early 2000s. Yeah.
could have been dangerous.
All right. Any other predictions you have?
I think that's all I got for now.
Boy, that was a great one. That was a great first episode. Woo-wee! I am so happy to be just right in the middle of this Bartlett administration. You have no
I'm
idea.
loving it. I'm really loving it. I'm like immediately hooked on the West Wing in a way that I don't think I've been hooked on a show in a minute.
Good. Good. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you. So I'm going to sign us off, and then you'll see us next week. We would love for you to tell us your thoughts, but not any spoilers for Maggie. But please, chime in, tune in, all the good stuff, because we want to keep this West Wing conversation going from the East Coast to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying, baby?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't know what to say in your review, you could say, "The Secret Service is out. This show is a great recap for the West Wing."
That's it.
There we go.
There we go.
Bye.
Bye.